I'm here talking about Herdict with Jonathan Zittrain. It's a new initiative he has launched to help everyone figure out what websites are being blocked, and you're making an appeal for your assistance in this?
Yes, I teach internet law at Harvard Law School, and starting in 2002, we tried to start tracking internet filtering around the world, finding out who around the world, government-wise, was blocking websites and otherwise stopping the internet from working in certain ways. We did some initial tests and published the first lists of what was blocked in China and in Saudi Arabia. Later, with the help of the MacArthur Foundation, we extended that to about 50 states around the world that do filtering of one kind or another. And now, most recently, we're just in the process of unveiling a new system for undertaking this research with the help of people around the world.
So how can our television viewers at home, how can they get involved?
So we've come up with something called Herdict, as in verdicts from the herd. As you can tell, we're not marketing people. We're nonprofit educational academic types. And with Herdict...
It's still in alpha, or it's just coming out?
It's just entering into alpha, so-called friends and family test. If you're watching this video, you're probably not family, but I consider you a friend, unless you're one of the governments that's trying to block us from testing out the filtering. And the way it works is you can download a little toolbar into Firefox or Internet Explorer, and as you're surfing, you'll actually have a little sheep that accompanies you in the status bar, and the sheep is green when you visit a site that other people can also get to. The sheep turns yellow if a critical mass of people somewhere in the world can't get to that site that you see, and the sheep turns red if people near you can't get to the site. You then have an opportunity to click and say whether you can see the site as well. And even if you don't download the toolbar, you can go to herdict.org and take a look at the reports as they come in and see reports of filtering in various
And you've got
places.
a real lifetime map.
Exactly.
We've got blockage in Pakistan of some site. You were just showing it to me.
Exactly. And we call that the herdometer. And you can even get into a mode that I think of as am I blocked or not? And you can look at one site after another through your own browser that's been reported as blocked by others and say whether you can see it too. And that way, as initial reports come in from one or two corners of blocking, you can immediately get it verified and retested by lots of other people who are visiting the site. And in that sense, it's like a civic technology. The more people who sign on to check it out and to use it, the more successful it will be.
And what are you doing with the data?
Well, the data will be made available in real time through an open API. So anybody who wants to make something out of it, other academics or people who want to make charts or graphs or even check to see if their own sites are being filtered or sites that they follow, can come in and have a look at that and start slicing and dicing it according to ISP, timestamp of report, all sorts of things. It's anonymized, but otherwise quite a complete record.
Yeah, so is there any way that the government is going to be knowing that I'm reporting something is blocked?
Well, the government might well be monitoring one's web usage. If you're in Iran or in China, it might well be that you're being surveilled as you use it, and if you're using Herdict, you'll be surveilled while using Herdict. We're looking into, and we may even have this ready by the beta release, a so-called secure connection, HTTPS instead of HTTP. That has its own load issues, and of course, as soon as you start doing secure connections to somewhere, the government might be like, what are you up to?
Something to watch, right?
But the fact is, Herdict is meant to be not a tool to see what the government doesn't want you to see. It's not a circumvention tool. So if you can't get to the website on your own, Herdict won't show it to you. It's just a way of enumerating what's going on. And in that sense, governments, I think, may find it less of a threat than some of the many other tools that are out there to help you get somewhere that they'd rather you not be.
Okay, and there's one more functionality that you showed me, which is you can look and see what is blocked where.
Well, you can sort by country, by ISP, and get a sense immediately of what's blocked. And our initial data from the OpenNet initiative, for which Harvard is a member of this consortium, which includes the University of Toronto's Citizen Lab, the University of Cambridge, and the University of Oxford, the data that's been gathered by experts and by researchers going around seeds the site at herdict.org. So you'll be able to see some of the so-called gold standard stuff as well.
Okay, because otherwise, how would this process work? How did it work in the past, before Herdict?
In the past, we would have to either rely on anecdotal reports or maybe send somebody or link up with somebody in that state that we want to investigate. Maybe it's, say, United Arab Emirates. They would run a series of tests, and then we would gather the results. But that would just be that one person's experience at that one time for those sites. In a way, this is much more robust because you have many more people weighing in using their real connections.
Okay, so your message to users in China is...
Why don't you visit www.herdict.org.
Excellent. Thank you.
Oh, I should also say, I should also say the initial version is in English. It's now first quarter of 2009. We have in production and should have available within a matter of weeks a Chinese language version and an Arabic language version of Herdict, with more on the way.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks very much.